What up, y'all? What up? Listen, I'm over here multitasking. Multitasking. There's a lot of things going on. So we back. Chief No Sleep is in the building. I didn't know we was gonna be back. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I was emotional back in 2024, but Montel called me up and said, "We going live?" No. But brother, it's good to see you, man. It's good to be in the building. It's good to be in the building. What it do, man?
Man, blessings. I always tell you, man, my worst day is a blessed day.
Yeah.
Never can't complain about that. But as you know, all of the things that are going on in California with the fires and all the other chaos going on. I mean, we just got to kind of hold our head up, say prayers for those that need it, because a lot of people need it nowadays.
Yeah.
And just kind of, try to stay focused on the right thing. You know what I mean? Someone told me that I was actually reading today. I think the newly incumbent president made some comments about our governor and how he's handling it. And I think the quote of the day: "This isn't about politics; it's about humanity." And we need to start thinking about it, putting that first and forefront.
That's
The
true.
fire.
That's
So
true.
I 100% agree with that.
That's 100%. And you right. I'm gonna lead off with that because I'm directly involved with what's happening with these fires. And like I said, your boy been a wreck for the last 72 hours. I see the seniors in the building. I see 1 and 2 in the building. He's here. Go check on Mom. She says she don't have no sound. Make sure that she make make sure that she don't have us on mute so we can make sure that we can get moving and get going. Exclusively on YouTube, exclusively on the Team No Sleep channel. Now that's how we're getting down, folks. But man, yeah, it's the world is changing for me instantaneously, whatever adjective you want to use. And listen, you down there in Southern Cal
Yeah.
as well, brother. So you affected by at least the air quality. But the last check that I saw, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fires
Yep.
burning in Southern California right now. And the wind gusts have been upwards of to around 100 miles per hour. And that's what's sparking all these other fires across the area. And it's just, there are not enough man hours, woman hours. There's not enough people to go out there and fight them in the LA County area. And every time I look at I've been locked on the KTLA. Is that the channel that you
Yeah.
watch, or
Yep.
you got another?
KTLA. Yeah.
Bruh,
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
been locked on the KTLA straight for 72 hours, and they put a lot of emotion in what they talk about because they use words like apocalyptic.
Yeah.
They using big words like that, and that's not helping me being 8 hours away
Mhm.
from my daughter who is down there in the Westwood area. So yeah, we had to evacuate her last night. She called about 11:30 and said that they were getting concerned with air quality, and then that one in the Hollywood Hills took off, so they
Yep.
were going to get boxed. I wasn't as worried about the fires in her area. I was worried about traffic. Should
Yes.
something jump off, being able to get out, because the 405 going in one direction is completely and still is completely locked down.
Absolutely. So
That's
you
what
got.
I was worried about, to be honest with you.
I think you're right, and I mean, thank God you got your daughter out, and I hope the other people that are in that similar situations can help get their kids or get their families out of those situations as well, at least to a safer place. I think people that are outside of California and outside of the LA area, those fires are like, definitely in the valley, where it hits Altadena going towards Monrovia and all in Pasadena.
Yeah,
And then you have the Hollywood Hills, and then you have the Malibu, and then you have the Burbank, the one in Burbank. California. So those are all burning at a rapid rate. And as you said, there's not enough manpower, there's not enough people to be able to help put those things out. And it isn't just burning forests anymore, it's burning homes
yeah,
and climbing into the residential areas and commercial areas as well. The things are just burning down at a rapid rate. It's spreading so fast. I think it went from like really small acres. Like I remember when it first started the Altadena, it was like, hey, 50 acres is burned, but it was more forest, the hills. And then all of a sudden, over one night, it jumped from 500 to like 2,000 acres,
yeah.
just that
Crazy.
fast.
Yeah, I mean,
So
let's see the Altadena. I'm looking at it right now. That's the Eden fire burning in the Altadena and Pasadena areas.
yeah,
So 13,690 acres. I ran this report just before we went live.
Yeah,
13,690 acres with no containment reported.
no containment at all. It's going to be, and there's no sign of rain. It's only wind. So we don't have no rain
Yeah.
coming. It's only wind and it's blowing it everywhere. And they're talking about evacuating obviously parts of Pasadena, and then now Monrovia is the next city over that they're talking about trying to evacuate. I mean, you're talking about evacuating a city, not an area, a city
Right. Yeah.
that needs to evacuate. And this isn't like a rural city. This is a city. This isn't like Roseville. Imagine having Roseville evacuate. All of Roseville
All of
said,
Roseville.
yeah.
Right.
So it's a very big thing. A lot of people have lost their homes. A lot of people are displaced right now. A lot of people, and we got to remember, whether we want to believe, there's a financial factor to this. Some people can't afford to leave their homes. Some people can't afford to leave those areas.
Yeah.
So
let's think about that and let's put that in perspective.
yeah,
And I didn't mean to cut you
yeah.
off because this whole thing is just growing, is dynamic. What's up with you, Chris Stone? See you, man. Appreciate you as well, brother, for the kind words. So I'm zooming in on one of the larger areas, one of the main areas where the fires are right now. So
Mhm.
Palisades fire is the one that a lot of folks are hearing about. Then the Eden fire up here at the top right,
Yep.
which is one we just talked about. As I zoom in, let me show you where my child is. My child is right on the edge of this Palisades fire. So I don't know, you
Yeah.
probably can't see it, but it says Westwood right there. So UCLA area and things of that nature. That's Bel Air. That's Beverly Hills. That's money.
Yes. Yep.
Right. You're seeing a lot of folks probably on TV, seeing all these Hollywood stars and all these athletes that are saying, yeah, they're losing their houses because their houses have all burnt down. But all these other areas right here, I mean, this is common folks. These are regular
Yeah.
folks as well who are unfortunately now have lost everything. Generational homes have lost. There was no place to go. There's no cellular service. There's no power, so they can't get in touch with people either, right? Because
Oh,
you gotta have
ju-
power to
just
have cellular and all of that. So nobody has any of that connection. Go ahead.
just to interject on that, last night when I was driving home, they're already preparing us for rolling blackouts. So
Okay.
where my house is, and I live in the Temecula Marietta area. The main roads, a lot of the main roads, everything was shut down, and not just the street lights. Everything that was on right or left side of the street lights was shut down. No power at all. They shut it down, and they shut it all the way down till I think earlier this afternoon. So, and they said it. They made it work. It's preparing for the rolling blackouts, but the fire spreading. So this fire just ain't even going to affect them. The people that are in that situation, it's affecting everybody outside of it too, because they have to prepare for the grids that could
Yes.
possibly go down on what's going on.
Yeah.
So we've been told not to use, be modest on using electricity, be modest on using your water. All these things are like coming into play. And I live, I would say, pretty far away. I live at least 70 to 80 miles away from where this is
Yeah,
happening.
you're a couple hours away from you're a shortened distance, but LA. I mean, folks don't understand that
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
the,
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
depth and
yeah.
breadth of California. You're shortened distance, but long in length to
Yeah,
where
long
these
and link,
fires are.
exactly. And it's just crazy, man, to see people that are around it is really displacing, like you said. But the fire hurt is getting close to Calabasas, so they're talking about evacuating some of the
Yeah.
Calabasas residents, which everybody knows that's famous for, where Kobe, that place where Kobe unfortunately crashed dead,
Hmm.
and then all those famous houses are there, the Kardashians and all those other rich famous people live up there. That's under warning to be evacuated as well, or the fires are starting to affect that area as well. So I mean, man, at this point, to be honest with you, everybody should be praying for everybody in LA right now,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
this is
This is no not and post traumatic for me and my family. We've already gone through a situation where we've lost property in the last few years due to
Mhm.
fire. So anytime I see smoke and flame, there's a challenge. Now my kid is directly in the eye of this thing right here. So obviously I'm tripping, trying to figure out what can we do? How can I swoop in and help? But
Yep.
again, it's affecting so many different levels of people, and I don't want to necessarily classify it again, but regular folks, common folks, but you got all of the. I mean, Steve Kerr here, bringing it back to a sports conversation. He lost his childhood home. some Olympic athlete here. He lost his home. JJ Redick, when he was doing his post game interview or session the other day, he talked about, he lost his home also as well. So, I mean, it's folks who have the means to rebuild that have lost all of their personal valuables, all of their belongings as well. But it's also the Montel Allens, it's the James Hickses, it's the Chris Stones, it's the folks like that. I mean, shouts out to my brother-in-law here. He was just down there in Santa Monica as well. And he was 4 miles away from my daughter. He was there for a conference, but he was able to get out. He lives down a little bit further south as well. But man, it's just crazy what's going on here. Like JJ was saying, was in Santa Monica yesterday through today, 1.5 miles from the Palisades. Never seen West LA and Santa Monica in such a desolate state. So sad.
Yep. Yeah, man. It's gonna affect a lot of people for a long time. I read the funny part. I was reading some information. I think they said they estimated right now it's in the billions and billions of dollars of damage that's been caused, and there's no sight. There's no sight at the end. Like they don't have anything contained. They don't know what they're going to do as far as finding out where this place going to go. This place people are going to go. And like you said, for the rich, it's a little bit easier, right? They have the means to be able to go different places and stay. It's going to be very hard for people like the Montel Allen and the James Hickses of the world that are working in those areas. They don't have the money. They don't have they don't have the resources to, up and root and go somewhere else or find somewhere else. They're in shelters right now, and now they're going to be in shelters for a long time because their houses are gone, not salvageable at all at any point.
Yeah, and there's nothing there.
There's nothing there. And one of the firemen was like, "We're gonna have to red tape areas." Kind of like New Orleans. Remember when Katrina fell through and they had to red tape areas because you can't go there because it's not safe, it's dangerous, and it's gone. They're gonna have to red. When would we ever thought was gonna? They're gonna be red taping areas of LA, and not only just regular LA, the Hollywood Hills, LA.
Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood Hills, LA.
Yeah, folks don't understand that, right?
They don't understand, man.
We got to put that in perspective, right? Again, I'm just in little Roseville, little Sacramento, Northern California. I'm 8 hours away from that. I'm 10 hours from Montel, and he in the same state as I am. Now, my East Coast family, shouts out to them because a lot of them been calling and texting this last 48 hours as well. I've driven between 5 states in 3 hours.
In 5 hours. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I was moving, right? So I was going. I had a rental car, so I was moving. But that's the whole perspective as well. And then again, a lot of U.S. folks don't understand, or a lot of European folks don't understand the magnitude just of the United States in and of itself, because you can go to multiple countries in a couple of hours, but East Coast doesn't understand the West Coast because California in and of itself is massive. And
but I think even more important, we have to understand the second largest city in the United States is about probably to shut down for a minute just to try to rebuild.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We're not talking. There's New York, LA. LA is the second largest city in the United States, and it seems like right now it's in chaotic. I don't know how you said it, but
KTLA using big words, apocalyptic. Every school is closed. Every school in the LA County area is closed. LA County, I used to sell technology into schools and school districts. LA County was one of my larger school districts. That there is nobody going to school. Yeah. For one reason, it's probably not there.
Yeah.
Right. The entire environment, entire neighborhood is probably gone anyway. So, but this is it's not. There's no end in sight, because I think even about 30 minutes ago before we went on, I saw another one that had sparked up. Yeah. Because of these winds. The winds have died down a little bit. They're not in the 100-mile gust range. They're down in the 60-mile-an-hour range. Still, Santa Ana winds is no joke. I've flown into them airports, and I've been on a plane where it got to bobbing and weaving with a lot of turbulence trying to get into the airport. And just imagine 100-mile-an-hour wind blowing fire embers across the road, across the street, 100 feet away, or whatever the case may be. That's how the Kenner fire started. That's how the Eden fire started. That's how the Hearst fire started from the Palisades fire. embers
Yeah.
blowing across the way.
And we're not used to having it in a major city.
Yeah.
We're used to those fires happening in places like Santa Cruz. Unfortunately, God bless those people there. Or happening on the outskirts. Altadena wasn't too big of a surprise because it's hilly, kind of forestry over there. But then it blew so fast and so strong, it went over to the city of Pasadena and Azusa and all those areas. Shout out to everybody at Azusa Pacific. I hope they make it out safe at that university. Shout out to people at Redlands University and the Claremont McKenna's and Scripps and all those people, because those are all in the area. I hope they make it out safely. University of Laverne, all those guys are caught up in that situation where those fires are at. But we're used to it happening way out there. We're not used to it happening in the city.
No,
It's not supposed to be happening in Hollywood
it's not supposed to be
Hills,
happening. Yeah.
in Burbank or Glendale. It's not supposed to be happening in Malibu. That's not supposed to be happening. It is happening, and manpower can't even get to it to help put them out. So you would think, the rich. This is the first time I've ever seen a situation where the rich are not as protected, because usually they put those houses out. Nothing touches Beverly Hills. Nothing touches those areas. They make
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
if something happens, they're there in a heartbeat, just because of the value and the amount of money that is in those areas. This is the first time I've seen it. They can't even get to it in time. Hollywood Hills, I think 6 or 7 houses burned down within an hour last night.
Yeah. Yeah, this
And they can't do anything.
has no demographic. This has no
Yeah.
social class. And Mom, you asking about any idea how it caused and what started it? Don't know yet.
No, they haven't said
Don't know
anything
yet.
about how cost.
I'm not.
Me personally, I think it has to be man-made at some point.
I was getting
somewhere.
listen. I was getting ready to say something. But, okay, I'm
That-
gonna throw it out
that's
there.
yeah, that's my scenario. Because even though those are 4 major fires that are going on, they're pretty far away for embers to be blowing to make those fires happen like that. So to me, and this is my opinion, I don't know if it's true or not. Something has to be some type of man-made spark.
Yeah,
To get these
because there
things
hasn't been
ignited.
any. You haven't gotten any rain down there in
No.
what is it, like 8 months? So it can't be thunder or lightning. It can't be lightning.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to be conspiracy theorist. I want it done. I want it fixed. I want to correct it. The fact that some of these fire hydrants, the fire folks, and shouts out to the first responders and fire folks. I give the police a hard time, but I love me the fire folks. Shouts out to them. They've been pulling up to some of these hydrants and they've been empty. There's no water in them.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna have to answer to that right there. And
I think that's a city of Los Angeles County issue. Whatever's going on with those. I think, in my opinion, there's no way that many power lines could have fell down and started all those fires in those areas. I think it has to be somewhere some man-made causing this. Right now, we're not in the situation where we can investigate. They got to try to figure out how to calm it down and maintain it, and I completely understand that. But I mean, if they don't get control of it, I don't know how far it can go. I mean, you got to think, if it's reaching that far to as far as Pasadena, and now it's into Monrovia, the next pretty much big city over. If somehow it blows past Monrovia, it can just keep going and going and going east. To be honest with you, until whatever happens at that point, Malibu, the only way to go is going to be going in and out. And people may be familiar with the Sherman. It's going to go to the valley. It's going to start to spread to the valley and up in those areas. That's just where that's what's left to burn. To be honest with you, Glendale, Burbank, that's crazy because people don't know. Los Angeles Dodgers that's the stadium is over there, and all where Hollywood Studios are over there.
You talking craziness, right?
I'm talking true.
But again, you got to wrap your head around this. And again, here's the thing. And I know what you're saying, and I know it's true. And again, a lot of games have been bringing it back to a sports conversation, social impact of sports conversation. Some games have been canceled and postponed and moved. Right, so the Rams and the Vikings game is moved to Arizona now. I think the LA Kings were supposed to play last night, so that game has been postponed. There was supposed to be an award show on the movie side or the television side that was going to happen this week. That's been postponed as well. So it's affecting not just us, not just the common folk. It's taking JJ Redick's house. It's taking Steve Kerr's house. It's moving games for out of state. It's causing all this disruption. And you're mentioning places that people all across the globe know about. We say Hollywood is burning. Hollywood is
It's burn. Hollywood
a lot
burn
of
right now.
Hollywood. A lot of Hollywood is burnt down.
Yeah, it's
We talk
burnt.
about
It's burning.
the Pacific Palisades. Pacific Palisades is grown folk money area. It's gone. It's not going, and it's not burning. It's gone. Right? I'm
I mean,
let's be clear here, right?
like like I said, I don't think people understand this is in the city. This is not in the forest. This is not in the outskirts where you see
Yeah.
those things. This is really, really in the city, and thank God it hasn't hit the heart of South Central or going towards that way just yet. It hasn't hit that side of the 405 yet. But I can tell you right now, if it spreads any more further and it starts to go that way, it's going to be in a lot of trouble because that starts to hit going towards the Slauson area back in that area.
It just gets
Towards
more populated. It gets more
all that.
populated. Yeah.
And if it jumps over that, then it starts to get into Inglewood and the airport, right? So the jump is where it's at at UCLA. If it jumps any more going down south, it can cause a lot of problems because there's a lot of stuff it's a lot of things that can be ignited and burned. It's not just going to be just, and it's a lot. It's a city. It's neighborhoods, buildings, commercial buildings, and the whole nine. The further it reaches down south. So if it jumps anywhere from that, it could be a bigger issue. And the fact that it's zero contained, that's scary. That's super scary.
So the line the site that I got up right now is pretty much all of the fire boundaries that are happening right now. So there's fires in your neck of the woods. There's the Palm Fire and there's the Hamlet Fire, just in case you didn't know, right?
Yep.
They're small right now, but again, there's two that are burning down in that area. So all the way down, y'all don't realize California is on fire, all the way down to Mexico.
Yeah.
California is on fire. All this area up in here, so Riverside County, all the way up near San Bernardino County, all the way up through Kern County. Y'all know these names. We just had an election. Y'all have heard about these counties, right? Right. So let's be clear, right? Up all the way up to Bakersfield. Who live in Bakersfield? Don't Oprah live there? Okay, I don't.
Oprah lives in
Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara. Yes.
There you go, right there, right on the outskirts.
Yeah, she right on the outskirts.
So
and that's the thing. If this fire jumps any which way, it's not burning just. That's the thing I don't think people say. It's not just burning woods no more. It's burning homes, houses, highways, cars, commercial businesses, all that. It's attacking all that. So, man, all I can do is say prayers for everybody, man, because this isn't. We haven't had anything in my lifetime like this, especially in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You know, the last big fire I remember we had one in San Diego, but that was 10 years ago. It wasn't to this magnitude at all. But not Santa Rosa, but Santa Cruz, this last one they had was really huge. The PG&E thing, that was huge.
Yeah.
But I think this is
up
bigger
here,
than both
by Paradise and the fire that took out our place up in the mountains, that was a huge as well. But again, those we found out what caused those. You know, ours was by a spark, was by electricity, but the Paradise one was PG&E. But we thought, but none
of those were done in big cities. Not cities like LA, not metropolises, I should say.
Yeah.
Those are all done in rural outskirts areas where it happened. We never had it. I've never seen it happen in a major city like LA and Burbank and all. I've never seen it happen like that, and it's happening right now as we speak. So that's the crazy part. I've never seen before. But like I said, man, prayers to everybody. Yeah. Rich, poor, disenfranchised, and we haven't even talked about what does this do for homeless. Like, well, regardless if you agree with homelessness or not, they're still human beings or people, and they're in. Just because you sleep on the street don't mean you should burn to death. And there's nowhere. This stuff is burning.
Say that one more time, right?
No, I'm being real, man. This is a humanity thing, because they don't have a lot of they're in these situations. Man, doesn't mean they deserve to die, deserve to be displaced even more than they are right now. And we got to figure out a way now to take care of all this and clean all this up. Hopefully, first stop the fires and help. And this is going to be a situation to help. This is going to be the opportunity for people to really, really help and help rebuild LA.
I've been listening to, again, I've been glued to KTLA and listening to all the reports and all. There's more good Samaritans than not. There are, unfortunately, them cats that are out there going around looting going
Yeah.
in, taking advantage of the situation. And I can't understand that at all, right? Again, you've lost all of your property. Someone in your community has lost. You know what? It's not even your community because you don't live there. Because if you did, your stuff was gone too. That means that it's somebody coming from Nevada or wherever else outside of the area.
And people don't understand there's not enough police. There's no one to be able to police it because they're figuring out trying to stop the fire. So these are just, I'll call them savages that are just rumbling through people's homes or houses or whatever they can do to try to take whatever they can take and get out of there and go. That's a problem too, and that's another problem to be addressed. But I think the bigger problem is focused on the masses, which are affected by the fires. Yeah. You know, those people I think will be dealt with. If they won't be dealt with by the law, in my heart, I think God will make sure they feel the wraths of their
they will be dealt with. They will be dealt with.
Yeah, they'll be dealt with at some point. So I truly believe it. This is a time for people that need to help us, and a definite time for people to put these people that are displaced in their prayers, whether they have a home or they're on the street. Please pray for them because this is big. This is not a small issue. This is not like there's a little fire that went up in a building caught on fire. No, this is neighborhoods and communities that are going to be really, really affected in the long run.
I agree. I echo that. And I will say this. So I'll read this synopsis here. So collectively, these wildfires have led to the evacuation of over 180,000 residents and has caused significant economic losses with estimates exceeding $135 billion.
I think people need to wrap their head. Think about that. 180,000 people that had homes have to be removed and displaced. 180,000 is bigger than most towns. Period. Especially if you go back to the East Coast and in the Midwest. 180,000 is bigger than most towns.
180,000 people and $135 billion
in cost. It's going to take to rebuild it.
That's just as of right now, and they're still burning.
So let's wipe a little bit of that down and let's go a little bit deeper.
Yeah, come on now.
With the issues between our governor,
and
our new president, how is that federal funding going to act out in order to rebuild? Because the president has to approve the federal funding to go to places that you claim is a disaster. That people ain't thinking about that. Insurance companies are not going to cover everybody's house. Even if you have insurance, they're not going to cover everybody's house. They don't. We saw that in the other issues and now. So we know even if fire insurance is not going to cover your house. If it's claimed as a national disaster,
I know about that.
With the bickering and the beef between our current governor and the new president about to come in, how is he going to approve the federal funding that's needed for that? Or is he going to approve it in a suitable fashion? This is going to be a ripple effect for a lot of things in a long time because those things are real issues. They're real things people are going to be dealing with. I don't know how that's going to react. The president right now, the guy's about to become president right now, he has legal issues and all this other stuff going on.
Yeah. Listen, he hopefully can get convicted of another crime and I know he's not going to get jail time for his whichever case that he's got. But the fact, so again, if you are a leader, the man has been walking around the microphone and blaming Governor Newsom and blaming President Biden for the fires. That's not the tone and the verbiage of a leader.
No.
Right. And that's the guy who unfortunately, again, we don't have to make this, we're not going to make this political or anything, but that's the man that's about to go into 1600 Pennsylvania again and had the keys to the front door.
I don't care which side you're on the fence. I don't care if you like him or you don't like him. The reality of it is he doesn't get along with our governor and he has to sign a bill to give federal funding.
Yeah.
So your personal beef is going to could possibly disfranchise other people because you have a vendetta. And you already comment, I would have managed it way better than him. He's an idiot. That was a comment that he said on the thing. Okay. What does that do for those 180,000 people? Homeowners.
That now
what does that do for what's going on? Yeah, so I mean, this for those out there, just be watchful eye. Like I said, say prayers. I don't know how he's going to react as far as signing it. Gavin Newsom, it ain't his fault that the fire started. He could be at fault for a lot of things, but he ain't started the fire.
You know what I'm saying?
So it's crazy, man. I feel very, very, very bad for the short term and the long term of what's going to happen in this whole scenario. As far as putting it out, getting the survivors ready, and then the rebuilding process. How's that going to happen?
We'll see. We'll see. We'll stay vigilant. That's all we can do. Y'all make sure you don't get caught up into no scams as well. Somebody calling you talking about send me some money to help me, GoFundMe's. If it don't sound right, it's probably not right. You know who the real charities are, right? Red Cross, things like that. Don't get caught up. Unfortunately, I know some folks are probably going to be, but let's just keep it from at that perspective right there. I'm gonna be vigilant. Continue to watch this because I got you, I got my daughter, I got some friends, we got some family. My brother-in-law here online. We got folks that are down there in the thick of this. So we will see what's going on. And bringing it back to the sports, we saw a lot of reshuffling and rescheduling and re-logistics for some things that are happening as well. So they'll deal with that. But man, let's we wanted to bring the gear back. We wanted to have a new show. It's unfortunate that we have more of these. It's not unfortunate. That's what we do. We talk to social impact, and it kind of goes into some different directions sometimes. But I'm trying to I'm trying to watch the Orange Bowl. I'm trying to see if Notre Dame is going to beat Penn State, but
you trying to do something to occupy
I'm
yourself.
trying
Right?
to occupy the brain and the mind, man. I'm trying to, I'm worried about my Steelers and they about to play the Ravens. I don't know what's going to happen there. I got into a little discussion on another podcast about a couple of hours ago. Give me something to talk about, brother. Give me something to talk. Y'all in the comments. I see y'all. Appreciate everybody for being here. Listen, tell folks where we are. But if you got a specific topic you want to
let's chat about Mr. Pierce, Antonio Pierce, man.
Oh my God! You want to talk?
Raider Nation then lost another one. They lost another one and got rid of another one.
That doesn't make sense.
Or that's the can't get right. That's the can't get right organization. They can't get it right for whatever reason. Do you think he was fairly terminated, or do you think it was warranted with that 2 year with this 2 year mission there?
They clearing house because they fired the GM too, Tom Telesco.
Yes,
I just saw that. Yes. But Antonio Pierce, man, he had the locker room. He had Max Crosby. I'm right. He had the team ready to run through a wall for him, and you can't. His quarterback is brutal, so you can't blame him from that. He didn't give the man time enough to build synergy amongst the team and do what he was capable of doing. And by letting them go that soon, again, you didn't let them plant any roots. You didn't let them get situated. You didn't let them get settled. The Davis family, I understand. They just win, baby, win, right? And they got the old Uncle Al. They got Al in there who that mantra is still there. But you can't go from a Gruden to a whomever the one was in between, and then you can't go from Pierce, who had some success. But then his quarterback fell off. Had to bring in some other cats, and they not good at all. He had all bubbles to the top, and he's the one who at the end of the day is responsible for the on the field activities. But I don't think it was proper.
You think it was a good move? Okay, so
I don't think it was a good move to let him go this fast.
I'm asking the same sort of question. So you think it was okay for the Patriots to fire Mayo?
No, I was getting ready to say that. I don't think Mayo should have gone either. Because
okay, wait, I'm gonna go somewhere with it. Two African American coaches, fired after 2 years. We've never seen that in the league. Period. Caucasian or other men or other coaches have gotten a lot longer, at least a 4-year tenure, to try to get their program turned around. It's never been in that situation. So I ask our community and all that, why? Why are the black coaches, head coaches, on such a short leash to turn the program around, where other coaches that haven't had significantly even worse records than those two gentlemen are allowed to have an extended career to build
Yeah,
a program?
I'm gonna need you to use a new word besides leash. And when you talking about the black coaches,
Hey, I'm saying, man. I mean, and I'm
but
going there
I hear
on
you.
purpose
I hear you.
because it does to me. I'm disappointed in the NFL. I'm disappointed in those ownerships, especially Kraft in New England. I thought Mayo, who played his career there, was successful in his career there, would have more of an opportunity to be able to build something around there. Now, where I will be pissed on either one,
Especially
if
with
Vrabel,
all the pomp and circumstance that they did when Mayo took the
yeah,
job,
yeah. Well,
right?
this is where the caveats will come in. If Vrabel gets either one of those jobs,
Ooh,
Mike Vrabel,
yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm like ooh, and as in okay, yeah.
because at that point now it's nepotism and some type of, to me, some type of plain conspiracy, right?
Mm,
Vrabel's Brady's boy from when they
mm,
played, and Vrabel also Roger Kraft's boy because he played for the
mm.
organization. So they both get let go. Vrabel's on the market. If Vrabel gets one of those jobs, I'm gonna have a hard time giving the understanding that wasn't pre-plotted, pre-planned to lay him off, regardless of the situation. I don't understand how they can expect those two coaches to have success when they have nothing to build around.
Yeah, I mean, the pieces weren't in the
Are
locker room.
gone.
The pieces
The
weren't
the
there.
Raiders lost with their best receiver to the Jets. They got rid of him because he was complaining about the organization. So your best player is gone. You don't have a quarterback. Mayo, same situation. You gave him a quarterback who hasn't had any success in the league,
Mm-hmm.
and a bunch of guys that they haven't had a
No, that's
successful
what it
being
is. It's just a
ability to
bunch
fit
of
into the
dudes.
play.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
It's no cohesion. It's just a bunch of dudes out there
there's no
lining
key
up.
to build around. And also in both of those organizations, you got to think about it. Neither one of them have had any flexibility to bring or attract big time free agents to those organizations. When's the last time you've been at ESPN? Oh, the Raiders are after such and such. Oh, New England's about to go get such and such. You haven't heard that in 2 years. You haven't heard anything like that in 2 years.
That's true.
You heard when they lost, but you haven't heard them doing it. But you'll hear that about other teams. Chargers are going to go sign Jim Harbaugh, and he's going to bring in blah, 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 blah. Chicago's going to get Keenan Allen. Well, you've heard of all these other coaches in other situations. They've been able to do that. How is the Charlotte coach have a job and these two dudes get fired? How is the Giants coach who's been there, had one successful year, but hasn't did anything lately? How does he still have a job and these two guys get fired? How
That's
does the
true.
Cleveland coach
Come
have
on.
a job and he hasn't been fired? I think New Orleans, did they fire their coach? But if he hasn't, how does New Orleans still have a coach and I think New Orleans is looking for another coach. But New Orleans, same thing. But their coach was there longer than 2 years before he got fired. How
Come
is our
on.
lease only 2 years?
Keep going to the Cowboys if you need to.
I'm
Right.
just saying, man, why are these competent coaches that happen to be African American have such a short leash
Mm-hmm.
compared to the competent other coaches that have a longer leash in ability to build a program? There's a problem there.
Well,
And nobody, including ESPN or Fox, wants to talk about it. They haven't said one word about this at all. And it's not the normal carousel of coaches just getting fired. It's not that. It's not that at all.
but we're
Because
not in those.
all those
We're not
coaches
in
in
the room
the
though.
normal carousel
That's why.
have more than 2 years to build a program.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have say. We're not in the room. We're not at that table. We're not sitting at Jerry Jones's table. It's just him and his sons and his daughter. Right. We're not at that table. We're
But
not at Robert Kraft's table. We're not the only table that we're at is my man in Atlanta. Right, the brother what's his name? Arthur.
Arthur
Right.
Ashe?
That
Not Ashe. I know you're
you
talking
know.
about the owner.
Yeah,
They're
that's
the
the
owner.
only table where there's some diversity sitting at the table with the pen that I can think of off the top of
But
my
you
head.
would think,
If you guys think that somebody else, put it in the comments.
well, I would think the Raiders would have diversity because they've hired the first minority woman in
Yeah,
a president
well,
role.
yeah, it's true. There you go with
Or
logic
is
right
that
there.
just a figurehead to say, okay, we got you in this position to be able to make those tough decisions, and the black eye can come back on you?
I don't know, man. I met her, and she seemed like the truth. She didn't seem like she was just one to,
Yes.
sidestep.
So,
So
and if she's the truth, I would say the same thing to her. Why does he only get a 2-year leash while everybody else is getting 4 or 5-year leashes to build their programs around? The Detroit Lions coach right now, his first 2 seasons, he only won 4 games.
yeah, he was brutal.
Now he's on the verge of possibly
Now he's possibly coach of the year, right?
Yeah.
They doing what they're
So
doing, so rightfully so from that perspective. But yeah, how come he
yeah,
got such a
I'm
long?
just I just don't understand. I really don't understand the Mayo, and I don't understand Pierce. Why? Or why in 2 years you're gone? Is that the new thing now? Hey, you get 2 years to turn around a program. I've never heard of that before in any NFL franchise. I never even heard of it before in college school. You only get 2 years to turn it around.
Nowhere, not even
Nowhere.
at a I'm gonna call it a regular job, not
Yeah,
even at
yeah.
any type of position where you're given more of a probationary period. You learn the
Yeah,
city,
I
you learn the
believe.
ropes, you learn
Yeah,
the program and all of that, and you bring in your coaches, you find some guys, you get them out there, and then
you
it's a
get your
rebuilding
draft.
year.
You get to develop your draft that you brought in. You get to develop the players you brought in.
So
You
okay,
get to, you get to deal with all that stuff.
so you a football dude, so you talking about the football score coaches. I live right here in Sacramento.
Mhm.
Mike Brown got
Oh yeah. Walton.
released on the way to the airport to the game.
Yep. Chicken crap move. I thought about the ownership. He shouldn't have did it that way. If he was going to do it, he should have had a discussion with Mike Brown. I know Mike Brown was having internal problems with DeRozan and Fox. I think Fox derives because he hasn't gotten the max contract. I don't know what DeRozan's problem is with Mike Brown, but for the success that he had and where he brought them back to prominence or somewhat prominence, at least getting the playoffs. Why is he getting let go? Because of 2 players' disagreement. I don't understand that at all. You're mute. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
I'm over. I got a dog here, and I don't like the dogs barking, so I'm gonna have to do something with that dog. So nothing has changed from Mike Brown to Doug Christie in terms of
Nothing.
player personnel,
Yep.
right? So yeah, they're on a nice 4-5-0 run right now with interim coach Doug Christie. He played with them before and all that, but nothing's really changed. There's been other coaches that have come to the aid or come to say Mike Brown shouldn't have been fired like that. It's, the ownership for the Kings is weak and terrible and all that. And I think Mike got a position. Who's he with now? He's on somebody's staff though. Is he over in?
I won't because of the Warriors. You should go back to the Warriors.
See, there you go. There you go. Hold on, we gonna find out where Mike Brown is right now. He is.
He's too talented of a coach not to be on somebody's staff.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I saw, and what's interesting about this. So we got a dope restaurant up here called Q1227, black-owned restaurant, high end, and there was actually just a post that the owner put out, Chef Quentin, with Fox and Brown having dinner there a couple nights ago.
Yeah.
So all the little social media stuff, all the little stuff in the news, all the little yappy yap noise.
Man,
That's all. That has nothing to do with it. They cool.
The funny crazy part about Mike Brown checked all the boxes. He's a community
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
He went to Grant High School during a football game at a high school. He was at a high school football game, hanging out with the players and giving them a speech. He's always He's always in the community doing something. He's always showing up to events, several events, and he's always out doing community outreach, and having players be involved in community outreach. He checks all the boxes, and that's the fact he's a great coach. He brought you back to prominence. He's doing all these good things in the community. He's doing all these good things. with the team that was struggling a little bit lately. But yet, where did you found the ground to fire him because of a disagreement, or if somebody's they're not seeing eye to eye all of a sudden? Give those grown men an opportunity to work it out. Mr. Fox, you have a problem with me? Okay, let's sit down and talk it out. What's going on?
Yeah.
I can tell you why I'm doing what I'm doing, and you can go ahead and tell me why you disagree with what I'm doing, and we will be more successful by doing it your way. That's the conversation. Ownership, I'm like, you need to have a conversation with him. He's our star player. Have a conversation with him and let me know what the outcome of that conversation is and where we go from there. DeRozan, you're another star player. Have this conversation with Mike Brown. It's a shame that athletes, don't get me wrong, in some cases it's warranted where athletes get the coach fired because of abusive behavior or anything like that. I didn't hear anything about that about Mike Brown's situation. I'm saying when you're at a professional level, why can't you sit down and have a conversation with that person and give them an opportunity to correct what you think that's going wrong in order to fix it instead of running straight to the thing and saying, let's get them fired? And maybe they even had some of those conversations. Have it again. Have it in the situation where the owner's in the room. Let's talk.
Yeah,
because I think I got a hell of a coach. You're hell of a players, but I got a hell of a coach. I don't want to let go of this hell of a coach.
Is not, the principal owner of the Kings is terrible.
Yeah, I know.
I said
I know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, we had Kings tickets back in the day, back in the glory days, back in the cowbell days, and the Weber days, and the Christie days, and all that. But I don't think I've been to that. I don't think what was it? It's not even Arco anymore. What is it? I don't know. Golden One Center. I haven't been to a game there.
Yeah, it's got the skylight and all that.
Since they lightened the beams
on,
and everything. But again, that's just unfortunate the way that happened. But again, so it's happening all over the place. Again, so you talked about Mayo. You talked about Pierce, who again, short leash, couple of years. Didn't get a chance to build up on the team dynamic. Mike Brown was doing some decent things. They were lighting that beam a lot of times, but it was turning into possibly another rebuild. And I was going to say a rebuilding year. The season, it's still early, man.
Their complaints they're below 500 or right at 500 by the fifth or sixth week of the season, but they're only 4 games out of first place. So everybody's struggling, trying to get it right. Mike Brown is not the issue. I really do. I feel that Fox's issue with Brown comes from a contractual situation because he wants max money. He's deserved it. He's been the best player.
Mm-hmm.
And I think ownership is like, I don't know just yet. We're going to give you all the max money you need. I think that comes from that because they didn't sign him last year, or he opted not to sign last year. And then DeRozan comes in there, talented player, supposed to help them get to the next level, but they're struggling. I still say you guys are supposed to sit down and have that conversation with the coach. Yes. Like, let's have this conversation. What's going on? And like you said, nothing has changed from personnel-wise while Christie there. What has Christie done that Mike Brown couldn't do in order to make everything gel together? Like, for real, like, what has he done to say? So I'm pretty sure nothing. Chris is probably just being himself. He's a player's guy. He's played the game before. I'm running the same offense Mike was running. I'm calling the same plays in the same situation where Mike was running because he's the one that taught me how to do all that stuff, and we're rolling with it.
He just as loud and boisterous as Brown is, right? They both getting into altercations with opposing coaches and refs. They the same cat.
It's just heartening, man, and they can't do that. And we see, and Mike Brown gets yanked on the short leash where J.J. Redick isn't having a good year for the Lakers. And I don't see them yanking him at all. I see other coaches that are having good years for some. But I will say the NBA is a little bit more progressive and dynamic. They kind of follow suit. Remember the coach that was in Milwaukee a year ago after winning the championship, he got fired the next year because they got off to a bad start. Yeah. So there is some synergy amongst NBA teams where, hey, if we ain't liking it, go. We're gonna let you go right away.
Yeah, I think that trickles down from the commissioner. I think Adam Silver is just more attentive than a Roger Goodell. I'll just say that.
Goodell's a puppet. Let's be real. Silver is more innovative, trying to do different things to try attract. Roger Goodell's a puppet. He does what the owners tell him to do, and rightfully so. That's his job. He's supposed to be able to do things the owners tell him to do. But he's a puppet. He's a puppet throughout and through. He doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
He
See, you know
doesn't
what?
really do anything beyond that.
I'm gonna throw you under the bus right now. I'm gonna tell you what happened just now, folks. See, every time we get to talking madness about like somebody about the police or something like that, either the internet goes down, lights start flickering, or the phones start
Or the
ringing.
police come. Remember that one time the
See,
police was
yeah,
right
right.
there?
Or the
Yeah,
police start coming. So what's happening now?
yeah.
We need to keep you on screen here because we're recording, and just in case someone come to Martell's
No,
house,
we good.
we talking about Goodell, and we talking about
No, that was just
and,
that was my son just calling me,
and we're talking
checking in.
about
That's all.
Kraft, right? So
Yeah.
they may have put out a code blue on us. Okay, let's
Man,
move
I
on
don't.
so we don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely,
we don't.
absolutely.
We need to stay on good graces and things of that nature. So yeah, I mean that whole situation. Who knows what's going to happen with that? I'm sure. Again, I don't know where Mike Brown landed, but I know he's sitting on somebody's bench as an assistant. Uh, Pierce is going to come back somewhere if he wants to, and he
I hope
deserves
so.
it.
I hope he gets another opportunity. He
Yeah,
won't. He can't. I don't know if he can get it in college though. I don't think he can go down. Just because of the allegations and things that happened with him when he was at Arizona State.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know if any big time school would take a chance on bringing Pierce back in that realm. And I don't know. I just don't think so with the allegations from Arizona State. Um, Mayo, I don't know if he'll get another chance.
Yeah.
Maybe at the collegiate level, maybe at the college level, but he won't get another chance at the professional level. But I will like to shout out Delaware State for hiring my boy, the receiver from Philly. God, I can't think of his name, but a good hire with him. A great hire for Norfolk State, hiring Michael Vick
Yeah,
as their coach.
man. Okay,
Um,
let's talk about that whole
yeah,
situation right
yeah.
there, the Vic situation. Because did I?
Deshaun Jackson, that's the Delaware State. Deshaun Jackson,
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah.
Yeah,
Did I talk?
yeah.
So for about 36 hours. Oh yeah, I said this on the last stream of last year. I was real happy because Michael Vick was talking to Sac State.
Yep.
I'm Sac State alumni, brother. Just don't let
Which
like.
they got a new coach too, which is a great. Brandon Marion is one of the
Yeah,
best
that's
coaches
true.
in college
That's true. But
football.
y'all,
Yeah.
man, for a minute, again, for about 36 hours, I was about to renew all my tickets and get back into Sac State. Stingers up, boy. But glad to see him go back home. Right,
Yes.
go and go
Yes.
back. The HBCU. Right, go back to Norfolk, go back to Virginia, where he's from anyway, and gonna lead that program. I'm sure they're gonna have success, however fast it takes, or whatever the case may be. But I think it's good to see Vic in the news again positively, right?
Yes.
Because
Absolutely.
he was thrown over the coals for a long time for what he did. He did his time. He served his debt to society and all that. I mean, let the man. Let the man breathe. Let the man live. He did what he needed to do. He fessed up to it. He's doing a lot of advocacy. Good to see some doors opening for him. Right.
Yes.
So yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Great. I
but
mean,
again, for about
he did
36
great
hours, boy.
commentating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great commentating for. I mean, on Fox, Vic was doing for the NFL. Great job that he got for Norfolk. Norfolk State. Like you said, it's back in his backyard. He can hopefully bring that program back to prominence.
Mm-hmm.
And then give a lot more guys opportunities to play football. DeSean Jackson took over the Delaware State program, which has been last couple of years pretty very very good. They just fell off the last couple of years. He's going to go in there and he'll interject his energy and his prowess into to Delaware State. It seems like for me, it looks like HBCU is the route for former NFL guys that really want to coach getting to they're following the DeSean. They're following the
Yeah.
DeSean formula.
Yeah.
Get into HBCUs, have some success there, then hopefully they can grow within the college ranks to being coaches. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think I know Ed Reed. He applied for another job outside of. I know he did it through Cookman. That didn't work out. He applied for another head coaching job. This supposed to be available. And there's several other former NFL guys that are going to the Division I AA programs and really going to try to put their imprint in them to be successful. I think I'm more interested to see. I think Vic is going to be fine. I'm really interested to see how DeSean Jackson turns around Delaware State. That's like
Yeah.
seems so much out of. He's a guy that's from LA. He made his round around the league, and now you're going from LA, Philly. You're born and raised in LA. You lived in Philadelphia. Now you're going to Delaware. I don't know. I'm interested to see how that's going. How that's all
It'll
going
be
to
a culture
put
shock
itself
for
together.
him in and of itself. You know,
Yeah. So I'm interested to see how that's all going to surface itself out and kind of be put together. But I wish those guys the best. I think great opportunities. I hope they open up new opportunities for younger coaches to get on the staff and have some prominent roles. So not only are they getting experience, but other guys can get the experience as well, so they can move up the ladder of college football. And we always talk about how I think the NFL has an issue with African American head coaches. College football has a bigger problem with African American head coaches. They don't have a lot. They don't have a lot of Polynesian coaches. They don't have a lot of Latino coaches. Yet you want a lot of Latino, African American, and Polynesian players.
Y'all heard him, right? Oh my God! Well, see, and that's one of the reasons also why I'm rooting for Notre Dame here to
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I'm not
17-17 right now.
I don't root for just the black coaches. I root because they're good people at football. They know football. They give opportunities, and it's a great setting all the way around. White coaches that do it as well, but as you see, white coach staffs, they continue to promote other white coaches to get in within the staff. It's really hard for an African American that is just as qualified to break into those markets and like that. I'm hoping that it's somewhere along the line that they can more so can break into these markets and also showcase their skills. And if they are not proven to be worthy, then I would terminate them. But if they're worthy, like the man, like the head coach over there at Notre Dame, let's give them a chance. Let's give them opportunities. Let's give more opportunities.
I think that's for folks who probably are wondering what we're talking. I mean, that's the whole thing right there. Give us the opportunity to get out there and do the thing. Diversity matters. Diversity actually helps, and everyone thrives and succeeds. Man, just give different folks the opportunity to go out there and show their talent.
Yeah. And don't act like like failure is a bad thing. People fail all the time.
Yeah.
But the failures of those guys seem to be more drastic, more crucial than failures of other coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Out of all college football,
right?
out of all college football, which I think head coaches is about 85 to 90% all white coaches. A lot of those guys are failures. They haven't had success, but yet they get chances over and over again. Where African American coaches, the spotlight is on them. If they don't have successful, there's usually scrutiny behind it all the time. I think we need to stop, erase that scrutiny and let everybody who's deserving of an opportunity get an opportunity and see if they get a chance to showcase their talent and see what they can do. And like I said, if you got a lot of African Americans, and you got a lot of a mixture of whites, you got African Americans, you got Polynesians, you got Hispanic. Out of those four races, there should be somebody that's able to represent you on that staff, if not at the head of the staff. And
because you're definitely on the field. Oh,
you're
definitely on the court.
So why not?
Right. So we might as well again be at the table making decisions. Listen, man. Okay, I tell you what. Let's bring this plane in. I just want a couple more things here, and I know you're probably itching to say this because I'm looking at my games. I got multiple screens going on. I'm looking at fire stuff. You see, we got the updates going on across as well. I'm liking the fact that my Oregon State women's college basketball is ahead right now against USF. Is that University of San Francisco? I don't know. Just the fact that the Beavers are winning. 17-17, Notre Dame versus Penn State with 9 minutes to go in the game. We'll see how that works out. But go ahead and talk about Juju. You know you do. Go ahead and say what you want. And I'm not.
Juju
I was
right
never
now
wrong.
probably,
I was never wrong. I mean, I was never in doubt. I just put Juju at 1B instead of 1A.
You put Paige Becker above Juju. You said it. You told me Paige Becker is going to be number one. She's better than Juju. She is not better than Juju.
No, I didn't say that. I said Paige. Lord,
you said what? Go ahead. What you can't say?
Listen, I don't remember what I'm saying. Got me over here stuttering and everything. I was just a fan of G. I like the story piece, but there's both stories are amazing. What Paige Beckers came from in terms of her injury and being able to come back and be able to excel and do all the things, and then out of the blue comes this Juju Watkins. I'm like, oh my God. So again, can I have a 1A and a 1B? They both dope.
No.
Okay.
We ain't doing the 1A, 1B.
So
you ain't getting both.
So
choose one right now.
What today? Right
Right
now?
now, you were a GM right now of a WNBA team, and you're about to draft and you got full range of ball. Who you drafted first?
Well, Juju can't come out yet. She still got another year. She
Oh, look
can't
at
come
you.
out. I would. I'm sorry, Paige. I would go with Juju right now. She
Thank you.
burning it up. She killing it. Just winning on and off the court. Just Paige is still doing her thing, but yeah, if I had my choice today, right now, early January is Juju coming on my squad wherever that is. Pick number one in the draft. There, I
I
said
agree.
it. I'm not
There
too.
you go.
Listen, I ain't selfish or I ain't stubborn. You know,
But I gotta break down all the bricks for you.
you do
For
you
you to
do.
look
You
through the
know,
window.
you gotta come through like a wrecking ball for me on some of these things.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
listen, but again, so back to the women's sports, the WNBA schedule got announced. I'm loving that. So May 16th, Friday, May 16th, they start. Interesting to see that first week on Saturday, Chicago Sky, Indiana Fever in
Yep.
Indiana. Angel Reese
Yep.
going to Caitlin's house. All this
Yep.
back and forth that's been happening around them, not necessarily them, but all this thought about happening. We gonna see it. They're gonna lace them up May 17th in Indiana.
And Chicago Sky got a chip on their shoulders because they missed the playoffs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They gonna play with a chip on their shoulders. And guess who took
Ooh.
that spot from them in the playoffs? Indiana.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be some subplots within the story that's going. I I'm gonna be honest with you. They might fight that game because
Somebody
there's
gonna
gonna be a
throw.
lot of
They're
blood
gonna be
involved.
somebody. Yeah. They're gonna be some.
There's gonna be some pushing and some shoving around in that game for sure because
They're
I think those two
gonna be some
teams
hard fouls
are budding
going.
star teams. Yeah, they're budding star teams, and not only budding stars on the court, they have stars off the court that are
Yeah.
doing things. You know, Angie Reese is doing her thing with the podcast thing.
Yeah.
She's killing it. She's also modeling. She's doing all these things that people say she couldn't do because she was tall and she was basketball, but she's breaking down all those doors. And then of course, Indiana just, Indiana's Indiana, and they got the star in the league, period.
They just
No
came out
said.
of the blue, right? Again,
Yeah, yeah.
first pick for the last 2 years because they were so bad, and now
Yes.
we can't help but talk about them because they got two people on the squad that are they're doing some pretty good things. But
Just doing
Golden State Valkyries, they got old girl Kate Martin. So I mean that's a story. They play their first
yeah.
game against the Sparks. So what's her name? The one who broke her leg. They're gonna be. There's just a lot of excitement there. I'm more excited about
Mm-hmm.
them than even watching LeBron at 40 years old
Man,
do what he
the
does.
NBA is losing right now because they're trying to do all these creative things, the end of the season tournament and the 4-team All-Star game. It
Yeah,
doesn't work. It's not going to
yeah,
work. You know what works? Go back to playing basketball the way basketball's supposed to be played, or we're used to seeing it played. Get some focus around the big men as well as the sharpshooters to make it big. Do the things that we're supposed to, and then I always talk about the NBA has lived off the NBA and not being able to rebrand and market itself, right? Like
yeah.
we had the superstars Jordan, then we went to LeBron. We haven't talked about who's the next. Who's next? Who's the next superstar? They haven't put nobody's name on it. They haven't built them around it. They haven't built no campaign around them. They haven't did anything to hand the torch off to anybody. So now people, I think, are starting to get disinterested. It's the decline. LeBron start not his play, but him is declining. Durant's going to be on his way out. Steph is going to be on his way out. Even the Raiders are playing right now. Those guys are on their way out. There's nobody to carry the torch. Remember, we had Magic Bird. Then it went to Jordan.
Huh.
Or, it was Dr. J, Magic Bird, Jordan, LeBron, question mark.
Yeah, it's a little
When you don't have that face,
light.
of the league, it's hard. It's hard to everybody kind of rally around it and get popular again. So they got some work to do, but they'll be fine. I don't, I
Oh
don't, I
yeah.
don't, I don't feel sympathy for millionaires like that.
As long as they keep cashing them game checks, they're gonna be all
You
right.
catch some
They're
checks,
gonna
man.
keep
They
cashing them game
fine. Yeah,
checks.
they'll be.
I love it, man. Listen, man, go ahead and bring us home, man. I'm just gonna tell folks, take a look at the ticker at the top. If you know some folks in the area, obviously Don't try to blow them up necessarily. And I know it. So I'm saying this in kindness and in love, right? A lot of folks are stressful right now. When I say don't try to blow them up, let folks let you know that they are okay, right? I mean, there's a lot of folks that are trying to reach out, obviously, in kindness and in love and in concern for folks that are in these situations, but um, it can be overwhelming as well. So that's kind of one of the things that we're doing, especially with our daughter, trying to funnel all communications through me and my wife, and then we push that stuff out. But keep us in your prayers, man. Keep folks that are directly in the line of these fires and everything else that's going on. Right? It's not this is just one calamity that's happening on this planet, but it's a big one.
Yep. That's right. There you go. You heard it from this man right here. You heard it from this man right here. All I can add is you know what? Say a prayer for everybody. Get comfortable having uncomfortable conversations because that's how we learn.
That's it, y'all. We out. Peace.
Montel and James, bringing the heat, team no sleep, with champions meet, we're on the mic, taking over the game, no time for rest, no screaming for fame. Talking sports, breaking it down from the court to the field, all around town, we stay up all night, grinding on the